Yesterday, I recorded a video about Dogecoin where I was looking at this headline and decided, hey, you know what? This might be an opportunity to actually try a quick short, knowing where the level of support is for Doge. Now, that trade is right at about $1,500 in profit, and I want to share with you guys how I found this trade, and I think it was an obvious one. Also, right now in the profit on a short-term Bitcoin short as well. The bulls have been taking over lately, but one thing I know from crypto in my personal experience has been that no rally lasts forever. Sure, we have these trends that last for weeks, but eventually the market tends to cool off at some point in time, and therein lies your trading opportunities to either buy support or short resistance. And that's exactly what I've done here, and I want to share it with you guys how I picked up on this in this video. I think it's quite easy, but you know, it's not financial advice, guys. I just want to talk you through it and what I see for Dogecoin in the week ahead as we are on this holiday weekend. Hope everybody's enjoying this weekend. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and take a peek at what I'm looking at. So first off, knowing that Bitcoin dominance is still strong and should be strong considering we don't have a rate cut from the Fed yet, this is one sign that altcoins aren't ready for their massive explosion yet. And if you couple that with this story that I led off with in this video, which is these 50% tariffs going to the European Union starting next month, which is realistically basically at the end of the week next week, you could see some selling pressure as a result of this. And knowing that the tariffs are one of the most obvious things that the Fed right now is looking at to decide whether or not they're able to cut the rates. Well, why is that? Well, because if inflation gets worsened by these tariffs, then the Fed can't cut the rates. And that right there means that Bitcoin dominance should hypothetically go up in that scenario. Couple this with the clear level of support that could potentially be tapped down at 15 cents for Doge. I'm not telling you guys that it's going to go down here, but I did tell you that I watched this weekly candle close barely in the green last week. I saw Bitcoin have a killer rally, take a new highest weekly candle close ever. And now we're on this newest weekly candle. And if this weekly candle for Bitcoin can break above here, well, then maybe we continue this rally. But there's going to be a level of resistance for the weekly candle close right at this previous wick, back where we were in January of 2025. So looking at this level of resistance here, looking at this level of support over here, and knowing that altcoins really aren't supposed to be surging yet, this was a decent play. Now, we could be finding levels of support for Dogecoin off this level. And so what I'm actually going to do for you guys live in this video is share with you the way that I might approach this current trade that I'm in. So on this Dogecoin trade, now that I am in the profit, 1,400 bucks, let's go ahead and set a stop loss, okay? And let's set a stop loss slightly in the profit. So worst case scenario, if I set this right here, I will profit $210 no matter what. If Dogecoin even comes back up to this level and starts to pump again, I'm not worried now because I'm in a trade that's in the profit. Now, this is a quite high leverage trade right now. I think this is a, what do I have on here? I have a 25x trade on this with a decently small amount of money, and I made 1,400 bucks overnight in 24 hours. Why did I make this trade? Very clearly, because we are looking at this bearish news about tariffs in the short term, knowing that maybe Bitcoin could pump anyway, setting our stop loss, protecting ourselves from, in this case, the upside. And you're also protecting yourself from this short going the wrong way by having a holding portfolio. And these prices that are low, these are great for DCAing in, and I really wouldn't be shorting it today necessarily, right? And instead, this could be maybe rounding out. It could potentially come down to my key level here, but it doesn't have to. This weekly candle could easily turn around and start green again and head up to our next level of resistance at 34 cents or maybe even to those highs. But the more likely scenario right now for me, given some of the news, is Bitcoin dominance continues to rally. Maybe Bitcoin has a cool off down to 100K. And if that's the case, I'm in position with a Bitcoin short and a Dogecoin short, which are both in the profit with my stop losses set so that I profit $100 or $200 on both of those trades. And I've got my holding portfolio. So if Bitcoin and Dogecoin go up, I'm ready for that and excited for it. I am not rooting on the price of Bitcoin or Dogecoin to go down. In fact, the opposite. I am rooting for them to both go up in a very big way. But taking profit on these opportunities in the interim while we're waiting on these big moves is a way for me to continue to build my holding portfolio. And if you want to trade as well, you could sign up for Blowfin using the link I have in the comments in the description down below for you guys, and up to a $5,000 deposit bonus. I want to share with you guys this story as well. Here is this silly article from the Motley Fool prediction. Dogecoin will plummet to new lows by the end of the year. Here's why by the Motley Fool. Motley Fool is one of my least favorite publications. This is really just basically tying Elon Musk and his interaction with the Department of Government Efficiency into potential price action for Doge. But I believe that Dogecoin is bigger than that. And so you can see these articles that are quite bearish. I don't agree with those. But what I do agree with is there is clearly a Bitcoin dominance trend. There is a level of support that we could touch down to. If Dogecoin breaks down below that, I would be quite surprised. The only way I would expect Dogecoin to break down below that is if Bitcoin starts revisiting the low 90s or the 87 or, K level, which I really wouldn't expect. My kind of worst case scenario for Bitcoin right now would be like 92K within reason. Of course, if tariffs get worse and the broader market continues to fall and Bitcoin gets pressure, things can change, which is why we give updates on this channel every single day, whether it's Dogecoin, Bitcoin, or any of these coins in the market. First of all, not on any coin, but in crypto overall, I am bullish. But these events that happen are trading opportunities. That's why I saw that news about these tariffs and said, this was a nice pump we had. The pump doesn't go on forever, right? So we might have a cool off period, maybe find a level of support, maybe down here. I might keep this trade open till this level of support. But if my stop loss gets hit, well, then I profited $200 instead of $1,500, and that's fine. What you could also do is shuffle aside some of the profit, take some off the table. That's another strategy as well that you can do. There's so many different ways to trade, and a lot to learn when it comes to it. So it's not for everybody, but it's been an excellent strategy for me and Black Sea to continue to build our holding portfolios. As we are bullish on crypto, we are, longing at times, and we are also shorting the market at times. Whether it's a bull market or a bear market, there is a time for longs, there is a time for shorts, and we are just keeping an eye on all of those. Another reason I was looking at a potential opportunity here was the bulls are kind of getting wrecked here. A $548 million long squeeze the other day, showing that the bulls might have lost a little bit of control there, got a little too greedy, and so we're having a little bit of a sell-off period right now. You'll see kind of a trend here where all of a sudden there's 3 big days of liquidations in a row. You'll see the price of Bitcoin go down. So these are some of the things that I look at, guys, for Doge, for Sheep, for Pepe, for Bitcoin. These are all great coins to trade, in my opinion. They're all available on Blowfin if you want to sign up using our link. Check it out if you haven't done so already. I got my stop loss set. This trade went the right way. Not all of them do, but you just got to win more trades than you lose if you can. Let me know what your thoughts on Dogecoin are in the comments down below. I've given you my key level of support and my strategy on this current trade that I'm in. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, DCA Hodl, and of course, my friends, I'll see you in the next one. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. See you next time, guys. Peace.